Hello and welcome to February's edition of Tech of the Month. And we're here with a new, but not so new face of Michelle Arthurs-Brennan, who I'm delighted to say is our new tech editor, with Simon Lewis sadly moving on from Cycling Weekly. But the role is in great hands, and you can find Michelle's writing on both the website and in the magazine, and she'll be doing plenty more video for us in the future as well. So without further ado, Michelle, what product have you brought for us this month?
I have brought along a Notio.
You've brought a ray gun. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not a brand spanking new product on the market, so to speak. We did actually look at it at Eurobike in 2017. However, it's been through a lot of development since then. And it's the first time we've really had our hands on one actually in the office to really put through its paces and put it to the test. So I'm pretty excited that we've got one to really try out. It does an awful lot of things. What you will do with it kind of depends on your experience and understanding of aerodynamics and quite a lot of other features.
So, aerodynamics.
I have no experience or understanding of aerodynamics.
So you'll measure body temperature with it then?
So for your average Joe, the best thing you would do is you would attach it to the front of your bike. Comes with various different mounts. It has a pitot tube which measures wind speed. It has an accelerometer which measures movement of the actual device, barometer which will look at air pressure, humidity, and you also pair it with a power meter and a speed sensor. Mm-hmm. Once you've got all of that, you can then get it set up so that your Garmin screen will display your actual real-time CDA, which is your coefficient of drag, which if you're a time trialist, even a road racer that's broken away off the front, that's pretty serious. Like you can see, just as you move your body, it's almost like something kind of jabbing you in the head saying, okay, get low, get down how you need to be, and hopefully save some seconds. So, I mean, that I would see as it being its kind of most useful use for your average person. You can also download Notio Golden Cheetah. Golden Cheetah is kind of like the mega analytics for, the real geeks out there. It's a bit like, if you buy a power meter, lots of people can go off and do an FTP test, and then actually putting it to good use, you might start employing a coach at that point.
So it's sort of real-time aerodynamic updates for when you're riding your bike.
Yeah. So it comes in a box with a mount for a road and a time trial bar. So yeah, you would expect to move it around. I mean, I haven't fully had a chance to play with it yet. I'm pretty excited about doing so. But it does just slide onto the mount. It looks pretty simple to swap.
So it is asking that you have quite the high-end fleet of kit, really, isn't it? It's asking that you either have a set of power meter pedals or you have 2 power meters, 2 bikes, one of which is a time trial bike. It's quite high end, and I'm assuming that it has a price tag that reflects that.
Yeah, well, there are 2 ways of looking at it.
Okay, yes. First way. The
first way is that, it comes in at $950, which translates roughly to £730 with free shipping. So, okay, it's quite a big investment.
Yeah.
However, if you were to go to, I've looked at some of the wind tunnel prices. Obviously, they're going to vary depending on which wind tunnel you use. But you're looking at, for an hour of use for a kind of wind tunnel experience, about £200. And then if you want like a 4-hour fit, you're looking at £695, which is pretty close to the price of this. Yeah. And with this, you can actually go out and find out, can I hold this position? Is this achievable? So you kind of got that constant reminder, and it is, it's real world. Whereas, a wind tunnel, it's great. You can massively optimize your position. You can potentially really speed yourself up. But in the wind tunnel, can you hold it out on the road is a question that a lot of people, they might go spend that £700 and they might not know the answer to that. It weighs in at 71. We've just put it on the scales now, 71 grams. That's not including the mount. It speaks to an iOS app. Worth pointing out, it is an iOS app. It's not Android ready yet. Okay. I have a Huawei, which is an Android phone, so that is a bit of an issue. I'm going to have to borrow your phone. It's a relatively young device. There's a lot of science going on there, and it's something they're working on, but they haven't got it yet. So at the moment, it's iOS, and it speaks to your iOS app via Bluetooth, and then it speaks to your power meter speed sensor via Ant+.
Great, thanks Michelle. And keep your eyes peeled for more video involving the Notio, because we have got some upcoming plans with that Very clever device. Now I'm going to go next.
Yep.
And I've brought something, you know, was a bit of history to it. A certain name that people might remember. James?
Yes, yes, I do remember it, and I have a story about that in a second. Yes.
So I've brought a set of Kade X tyres, and now for those that don't know, Kade X is Giant's new premium line that they launched at the 2019 Tour de France. Kade X being a sort of household cycling name, really, because it was a carbon fibre bike that Giant made in the 80s, I believe.
Yes, and also then carbon fibre and aluminium. So carbon fibre tubes, aluminium lugs, which I had back in the day. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, my first road bike was a Giant Kade X, and it was a hand-me-down.
Well, Giant have repurposed the Kade X name for a new line of premium performance components. So you might have seen Kade X wheels, which is what CCC team are racing on. There's tyres, there's the Kade X Boost saddle, which Giant have just sent us as well. So they've got a whole fleet of these new top-end racing products, of which we have these, the Kade X tubeless tyres. And they're very new, as you can see. I've not yet ridden on these, we've just received them. This is a silica-based rubber compound. It has 170 TPI casing, which is quite high.
Yeah.
I mean...
170, so it's like, most of them are 160, so they've gone 10 better.
10 better.
Not obviously the best, which is 320.
Exactly, so it sits somewhere between, but it does gives it a bit of extra protection. So the big thing about these Kade X tyres is that they are tubeless, which is quite a big deal for a performance tyre because, as we know, tubeless on the road has slowly been taking off, but tubeless in a performance sense has been very slow to take off indeed, with lots of pros still opting for tubular tyres at a top level. So this does beg the interesting question is, will we see the CCC team riders start riding tubeless?
That's
only?
it. Like Bahrain Merida have just sort of said that by the middle of the season, they're expecting all of their races and all their racing to be done on tubeless. So we should expect other teams to follow that.
There are a lot of teams making noises that way, particularly Giant sponsored teams, because Giant have potentially done more for tubeless than many brands.
As a brand,
they've been really pushing this. Obviously was putting tubeless as standard on their road bikes, setting it up so it's ready to go when you buy it in the shop. They are really pushing this as a system. It's a really interesting, it's an interesting product. It comes in 3 different sizes, so 23, 25 and 28.
You have the 20.
I have the 25.
25s.
So this weighs 283 grams per tyre.
But then you've got the extra reinforcement of the tubeless setup, so obviously it has to have slightly thicker sidewalls, everything else. And
it has a Kevlar cut belt as well, or a cut resistant belt.
Okay, that's good.
So it adds a bit of weight, but adds a bit of puncture protection.
And also, you don't need a tube.
You don't need a tube, so there are some weight savings involved there as well. So the Kade X tubeless tyres, yours for £64.99 a tyre, which is expensive.
But
£125 a bike.
It's the same as a GP, like Continental GP 5000. The Specialized S-Works Turbo tubeless, a roughly similar price. So it is a lot of money. But it's on par, I think, with a lot of the brands.
Top-end ones. It's sort of par for the course at that top-end price. £64.99, Kade X tubeless tyre.
Lovely.
Excellent.
James.
Yeah.
What have you bought?
Well, I'm going completely opposite side of tech to you guys. You might be forgiven for thinking this is some sort of crazy modern tech, but this is actually a homage to retro cool.
I mean, it's a box, mate.
It is a box.
Yeah, quite a large box.
It is quite a large box. So this is a pair of glasses. So these are Bolle's new Chrono Shield 2. It is a reimagining of one of Bolle's most iconic and best-selling glasses of all time, the Chrono Shield, which itself was a remake of their best-selling ski goggle. So this tells us somewhere of the way we're going here. And Bolle have decided that this year, 2020, is the year for big glasses to be back. We kind of knew that last year.
Have they not been back for a while yet?
We kind of knew it last year and the year before. Bolle are now I hate to say catching up.
Have they supersized it though?
They have
They've
It
gone
just
big.
wouldn't be Tech of the Month without an overly large size of sunglasses.
Especially from
would it?
me. So these...
They match everything on you.
They do. They do. They know what colours I like to go for. These are the Chrono Shield 2 and they are beauties.
They are very cool.
So they are, I'll tell you a little bit about them. So obviously they're designed as a full coverage glasses. They come with a beautiful foam.
Is that a sweat
It is a sweat. Yeah, sweat catcher. That's a good term for it. Which is, again, a bit of an homage on the original ones, which came with an even bigger one.
People were sweaty about
The good news is, people were sweatier. It's 1986, okay?
We
I
progress
remember
as a
those
human
days.
race.
We were very sweaty back then. But we're even sweatier now, so apparently we need this. Fortunately, this can be removed, so you can just pop it off.
If you are a less sweaty person.
If you're a less sweaty person. It's also a little bit claustrophobic, so it closes everything up. So it's good in the winter, but you might not want it if you want to wear these in the summer. So you can pop it back on really easily, like so. And that is the glass. So these are now made with like modern fabrics, or I say modern fabrics, modern materials. So it's a new flexible thermoplastic. So you've got bits here.
I see that being really useful actually.
This is really good. So if you look at this, rather than it just being like sort of soft and rubbery, you can actually bend them. But yes, you can adjust these, so you can bring them up, you can put them flat, straight, bent, whatever you want.
Very cool.
That is actually really good, because one of the things that we do find with some of these bigger glasses is they're wider across the sides, so they don't stay on as well. So you got that, and it just means obviously it's comfortable. The nose piece is adjustable as well, so it actually adjusts to your nose shape, if you fit that shape, obviously.
If you have a nose-shaped nose. Yeah.
And there are a couple of different colours. They do a bright pink one, which I really like. But there are also different types of lenses. So this is their Phantom Photochromic. So we tested some Bolle glasses in 2019 that we really rated this Phantom. It's a really, really good lens. So it adapts to the light conditions. And if you don't want this, you can get them with replaceable lenses and a slightly different lens as well. Quite large.
Yes, yeah.
But they do give you that full protection.
I will stress that they look better with a helmet on as well.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've not seen myself
they
yet.
look
so,
quite.
Okay.
Well, they look like ski glasses.
And they've got quite a round shape to them as well. So yeah, exactly like that. Price-wise, we're looking at, with the normal Bolle lens is £145. With this, the photochromic, it's £215. So we are at the top end, but again, there are
marginally more than Oakley,
Oakley.
kind of top out around 200.
Yeah,
I
Smith.
think, so.
Smith about a similar sort of price. Rudy Project. All of them have glasses that are expensive, but again, this is something that, you know, if you get a good set of glasses, then they're worth their weight in gold. They'll protect your eyes, and it's really good. Cervelo S3.
And this is the first time we've featured this bike since
The
its
S3,
launch.
yeah,
We haven't
yeah.
seen it since it debuted in 2018 now. So
that's right.
A long old time ago.
Yes, it's a long old time, but we're really, really happy to have this. So
Yeah.
we tested the S5 last year, so that's the one that everyone's been raving about with the crazy Star Trek USS
I
Enterprise
love that bike.
handlebar
It's
and
great.
stem combo and everything. But yeah, so the S3 takes the aerodynamic stylings of the S5 and just kind of fine tunes it and makes it probably a bit more practical, really, especially when we look at the stem setup and the overall look of the bike, really. So it's a bit more of an appeal to everybody.
Much easier to swap your, say, handlebar size as well, because you have got a two-piece, haven't you, as opposed to that integrated?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. So it's a standard two-piece handlebar and stem. It's still not a standard stem, though. That's the one thing about it, is it's a very, very unique to Cervélo system, which kind of takes almost like the old style quill stem and fits that inside of this unit here to give a very, very clean look. It does mean that adjusting it is a little bit of a faff. And if you do want to sort of like really sort of drop that front end, you do actually have to cut a bit of the stem down.
I was going to ask that because a lot of aero styles, you end up with this kind of very odd shape on the top because they do work, but they look a bit strange. But in this case, you really have to cut it. And
you do. There is some adjustment. Yeah. So normally it's around about 40 millimeters of adjustment you can have on it, but sometimes you do have to trim that down. So a few little features. This is the Ultegra DR2 version. It retails in the standard colour scheme at around about £5,699. So it is...
Classic Cervélo, you know, very expensive. It is for the level of kit on there. So, and it has a few little features that personally I've not actually seen before. So these are AEX wheels. So this again is something that is unique to the Cervélo we have here. I'm sure people at home might have heard of these brands before. They are 50mm deep. It obviously matches the bike incredibly well. And as I said, we got the standard Di2 on here with the 5236 semi-compact, which seems to be the way that things are going now, really on there. Cervélo bar and stem, full carbon. And the other good thing is it does have that beautiful integrated cable look to it. So it's very clean.
It's lovely looking at the front end.
Chop that stack height down and that's going to be a great looking bike.
Yes, yes. Fully integrated with hydraulic disc brakes as well. So that's, again, Cervélo are one of those brands that have taken almost all their bikes to disc brake now. This is obviously, as you can tell by the colour scheme, it's the Sunweb colour scheme, which is, I kind of really like it. Yeah.
So James, have you got a weight for the S3?
Yes, this particular model in a 56 centimetre frame is around about 7.8 kilos.
Okay, so that's kind of par for the course. It's same as the System 6 non-high mod version.
Yes, yeah. So for an aerodynamic bike with this sort of integration, it's kind of like sort of relatively on par, really. So it's not the lightest, but it's certainly not the heaviest
and
as well.
And you've got a size 56, isn't it? So,
56, yes, that is exactly right.
So we are expecting to see a review of this, so do keep your eyes peeled in the next couple of months for a full review of the Cervélo
full
S3.
review on website, magazine and video as well we'll be doing on this one, so full coverage.
Great, thanks guys. So that's everything for February's Tech of the Month, and Bike of the Month was the wonderful Cervélo S3. If you have enjoyed this video or you have any questions, comments, things that you'd like us to know, then please do leave them in the comments section below. And if you've liked it, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the Cycling Weekly YouTube channel. But we'll see you soon in some upcoming videos, and Tech of the Month will be back again in March.
And for the first month, you won't ever lay them down on the table
or do anything
flat.
Why would you do that?
Barbaric.
Oh my god!
You want to take them back?
Yeah, take them away. Michelle starts cleaning them with gravel in a minute.